this week.
This is a tool in the tool belt of our police department.
Metro Police want access to individual or store private security camera video to help solve crimes. Some argue this is going too far.
We're going to be appealing this scam.
Sentencing for Donald Trump's hush money conviction is on hold, maybe until he leaves office in 2029.
The people of Western North Carolina, they need help. They need it now. We can't have any more delays.
The bottom line is that when we're hit like this by a storm, we have to invest in rebuilding America.
Southern state senators are teaming up to get more funding for Hurricane Helene victims still working to recover.
Yeah, the holiday season is very busy at Nashville Rescue Mission because we do have a larger number of folks that come to our doors, men, women, and children, seeking shelter, seeking food, meals, finding hope.
And it's the time of year for giving and sharing, and the Nashville Rescue Mission does just that. Hear how you can help their mission. Hello again, and welcome to another edition of This Week. Sentencing for Donald Trump on hold indefinitely. Senators of different parties in southern states unite over hurricane damage funding, a place of last resort that helps so many. You will hear from the Nashville Rescue Mission. But we begin with Metro Police wanting to expand its surveillance network to include access to private security cameras.
This is a tool in the tool belt of our police department.
Tonight, a back and forth discussion with business surveillance cameras in the spotlight.
Fusus consolidates public and private surveillance networks into a system controlled by law enforcement, creating an infrastructure that feels more like Big Brother than a guardian of public safety.
When I was burglarized, we developed the tag pretty quickly of the vehicle that was being used, and before that person could be caught, it took about 18 days and 12 more victims before that vehicle was stopped. Technology can see more than officers can.
Metro Police asking for an increase in their system, allowing access to business security cameras. For years, companies have used cameras as a deterrent, even posting warnings to would-be criminals. Now, police want to use them to solve crimes faster.
By allowing us to go in, see the actual video of the suspect, provide a good solid description to the responding officers so that we can be more precise in our response and we're not, stopping the wrong people. We're getting to the right person and hopefully solving a crime.
The technology called Fusus works like this. When a crime happens at a local business, police are able to access the footage remotely as it's happening. But some say Fusus is an invasion of privacy.
Increased police surveillance and government overreach poses a real danger to our communities and threatens our safety and well-being.
And just as a parent does not consent to an unknown stranger watching their kids' every move, I do not consent to my children being constantly surveilled by the police under the guise of protecting them.
Over the weekend, MPD responding to a bowling alley in Hermitage after a 20-year-old was shot and killed.
Would a Fusus integrated device been helpful to your investigation here?
Yeah, absolutely. If they're a donor camera, that's something that could have been done literally as the call came out, as officers were still on their way to the call, and possibly have intercepted the people that were involved.
But the worry is police will be able to obtain sensitive information about Nashvillians without probable cause. The concern even expanding to worries about the federal government being able to access the videos. Now, Metro Police says they're only requesting access to cameras from commercial businesses and not private citizens. Businesses can choose to opt in or opt out. Right now, the resolution has been deferred and will be taken up again at the next council meeting.
In the AI age, we are surrounded by an enormous amount of data that can be overwhelming. Teachers are often not equipped to educate students on how to use all that information. MTSU is launching a program to fix that, and 5 Middle Tennessee school districts will benefit from this.
Greg Rushton at MTSU's Tennessee STEM Education Center received a $3 million grant from the National Science Foundation. Starting in the spring, that money will be used to teach 16 Middle Tennessee public school teachers how to use data science in the classroom.
Most of our STEM teachers don't have formal training in data science. I mean, these programs are just emerging now at the university level, and most teachers are traditionally trained in a STEM subject, a science subject, a math subject, an engineering subject, and And so they need additional support to carry out the kinds of activities and assessments that are consistent with a data-based economy.
The schools set to benefit from this new program include Bedford, Cannon, Williamson, Warren, and Murfreesboro. So what is data science? Keith Gamble is director of the Data Science Institute.
The world is rich in data. In the past 20 years, data has been collected everywhere. But the problem is getting insight from that data. That takes some tools and techniques, and that is what we do in data science.
Take writing a high school paper. Using data science, that experience is very different for students and teachers today.
Rather than having to start from scratch, you get a draft and then you customize it how you want. This is rapidly changing software development. And these tools certainly will be available to our teachers in these courses as they learn to use data and get insights they want out of that data.
Selected teachers will embark on a 5-year program. Within 2.5 years, teachers will earn an advanced degree in data science education as well as teacher leadership, with the option to further their education with a doctorate degree.
We're really excited to partner with our school districts to see what we can accomplish together. We just want to be prepared for an economy that's going to be data-based.
Prosecutors in New York make it clear President-elect Donald Trump's criminal hush money conviction should not go away. But the DA's office is willing to put it all on pause for now.
New York prosecutors say they're against dismissing Donald Trump's hush money criminal conviction, but in a court filing today, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office saying they are open to putting it on pause until after the president-elect's upcoming second term is over. Judge Juan Merchan giving prosecutors until today to share their thoughts on how to proceed with the case, which is tentatively scheduled for sentencing on November 26th.
The prosecutors said they need to balance their respect for the office of the presidency and respect for the jury system. Because remember, Donald Trump was convicted by a jury of his peers of all 34 counts. However, they understand the reality here.
In May, a jury found Trump guilty of all 34 felony counts related to a payment before the 2016 election to silence adult film actress Stormy Daniels about their long-denied affair. His conviction carries a maximum sentence of up to 4 years in prison.
There's a greater chance that we do not see Donald Trump sentenced if the prosecution is joining in the application to pause the case, because the case would be paused almost indefinitely. I can only imagine be brought back up after the presidency is done.
Trump's lawyers arguing the case should be dismissed because a sitting president is immune from prosecution. Prosecutors arguing presidential immunity would not apply to a defendant who had already been convicted for conduct that is entirely private. While it is still up to the judge what happens next, Trump's team calling this latest move a, quote, total and definitive victory for Trump, vowing to get the case dismissed, quote, once and for all. If Judge Merchan tosses the conviction, he could order a new trial, which would be delayed at least 4 years until Trump leaves office, or dismiss the indictment altogether. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
Now to our This Week cover story. Southern senators are teaming up to get more federal disaster aid for victims of Hurricane Helene, still working to recover. Hannah Brandt in our Washington bureau has more on their efforts.
Hurricane-hit regions in the southeast are still grappling with the impacts.
It's not over. We're not on to the next storm. We're going to be recovering in western North Carolina for years.
So southeastern senators are pushing to pass a major disaster relief package. It's bringing Republicans like Senators Tom Tillis and Ted Budd together with Democrats like Senators Jon Ossoff and Tim Kaine.
The people of western North Carolina, they need help. They need it now. We can't have any more delays.
The bottom line is that when we're hit like this by a storm, we have to invest in rebuilding America.
While large funding packages are usually divisive here on Capitol Hill, the senators tell me there's a reason this one has support from both parties.
It's not about party. It's about taking care of one of the core functions of government, which is taking care of people in a time of need and disaster.
The White House is asking for $98 billion for wide-ranging relief efforts. In Virginia, Senator Kaine says national parks and forests need help.
In the Appalachian part of Virginia, there were huge damage to public land.
In Georgia, Senator Ossoff especially wants aid for the agriculture industry.
Supporting our family farms, who were crushed by this hurricane. We got pecan growers in Georgia who lost entire groves.
And Senator Tillis says the storm hit regions of North Carolina that aren't used to hurricane damage. So he says they may need to get creative with relief funding.
I think we should go COVID relief package and see whether or not a paycheck protection program for disaster declared areas is in order.
Congress may try to add the disaster money to a larger package that they're working to pass before the December 20th federal funding deadline.
That's a lot of work to do, but we could get it done, and that's my hope.
And they agree, the sooner the better.
We need to do this swiftly, and we need to do it without political gamesmanship.
People are hurting. We've got to get the money out there.
In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
Stay with us. This week continues in a moment.